Welcome back to my channel. I am Letters for Life, where I encourage people through writing handwritten letters of encouragement. Today we are back with another business entrepreneurship video. I am super excited to share this knowledge with you, so please like, share, and subscribe, and let's go ahead and hop into the video. I'm going to be relating this video mostly to stationery because that's a business that I am about to launch next year. Self Love Stationery is finally the name. Woo! Finally picked out a name, y'all. I'm super excited about it. So it's going to be kind of related to stationery stuff, but if you're thinking about starting like a clothing business, or you're thinking about doing a boutique, or you're thinking about opening up any type of business, this video will definitely help you out. So the first thing you need to be aware of is the minimum order quantity. That is the minimum amount of merchandise that you can order from either being overseas or being stateside. So overseas, say for instance you're trying to order some pens, right, for your stationery business. You're not just going to order like 2 pens from overseas. When you order overseas, the bulk order needs to be minimum like 1,000 pens. They not gonna just start up their little machine over there in a different country for your little 5 little pens. They not gonna do it. So being aware of this, when you order overseas, it will definitely be a bulk order. You could do like 500 merchandise, but usually the quantity is 1,000. So you need to be aware of that. If you don't want 1,000 pens or 1,000 pieces of clothing, if you don't want like a huge bulk order, you may consider going stateside. Now with stateside, you can order smaller quantities, definitely, hands down. They're a lot more affordable in the sense of you can order smaller quantities. But the trick is you're going to be paying more stateside than you do overseas. So say for instance you pay overseas and you want 1,000 pens. To produce 1 pen, it may be like $1.02. To produce 50 pens stateside, they're gonna charge you like $4, $5 for 1 pen. So if you think about it, it kind of levels itself out. Either you're going to order stateside and only get 50 pens, but you're paying a higher price per pen, or you're going to overseas and get a lot of pens, but you're paying a lower cost per pen. So you just have to, you know, weigh the pros and cons of each and just figure out which one works best for you. The second part that I want to tell you, my dryer just went on. It always does this sound. Y'all hear that? I don't know if it's catching up, but anyways. Second part of this is you need to really consider the shipping cost. Shipping cost matters, y'all. Like when I tell you I wasn't ready, nobody prepared me for the shipping costs. I just was not prepared mentally, emotionally, or spiritually for how much it costs to ship something overseas. So I've been going back and forth with different vendors on the type of stationery that I want. And I think I asked this lady how much was it to ship. I don't know if I asked her for 500 pens or if I asked her for 250 pens, but whatever the cost was, it was $500 in shipping. Hello? Did you hear me? $500 in shipping and nothing else included. That's not even including the cost for the pens. I said, what? Excuse me? I was shocked and appalled. I was like, oh Lord, y'all ain't playing no games over there. Like, oh. And I can see why it's so expensive because obviously it's coming from a different country, but I just was not prepared for that cost. I just wasn't. So when you order overseas, be ready to pay some coins for shipping, because shipping is no joke. You buy stateside, of course it's going to be so much cheaper. A lot of times you won't even pay for shipping because you can just pick it up right down the street or right in your local city or the next city over. So you won't usually have to pay for shipping. But when you order overseas, you really have to account for the shipping costs. So it may be $1 to make the pen, but when you include the shipping, this pen isn't just $1. You also have to divide the shipping cost per each pen. So now this pen is actually like $3, $4 to actually make, because it also includes the shipping as well. The next thing that I really want to harp on is customization, and then also different options. So one of the things that I really like about overseas personally is that you have a lot of different options. Like you can literally order something and it be so unique to your brand. It be so like customized to what you want. That's why I really like ordering overseas, because you have a lot of different options. When you order in your local city or you order at a local store, you don't get a lot of that options. You don't get a lot of that customization. So that's something else to be mindful of. If you really want something that's unique and different and really targeted towards your audience, you may consider going overseas because they have so many different options. I mean, they're getting stuff from different parts of the world and then they're selling it out to the US or people in their local city. So overseas definitely has a lot more options compared to stateside. The fourth thing I want to tell you when you're ordering either overseas or stateside, more importantly overseas, is there is a huge time difference. When you going to sleep, they waking up. When you waking up, they going to sleep. And the first vendor that I actually reached out to, she kind of told me about myself. She read me back and forth and sent me on my way. I said, oh, okay, ma'am, I'm sorry. Because I was messaging her because I was up. You know what I'm saying? I was up and I was excited. And I was like, let me just message this vendor, you know, not really thinking about it. And she hit me back like, ma'am, I will get back to you when I get back to the office. And she said something like sleep time or rest time. And I said, oh, my bad. I'm so sorry. My bad, sis. You can go ahead and go to sleep. I did not even mean to come for you like I did. I'm so sorry. But when she woke back up, like, she was able to, you know, get my information and get my quoting. But that is a huge thing you need to consider. You have got to think about the time difference. So luckily, I get up so early in the morning. I usually get up like around 4 o'clock. And usually I can catch the vendors before they about to knock out. And they'll be able to give me quotes and we can be able to talk back and forth. But if you're not an early riser like that, you're going to have to stay up later. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be you trying to stay up later to communicate with them. So if you do, you know, want to talk to people overseas or you want to talk to different vendors overseas, you have to really consider staying up later. And if you're working a 9 to 5 like myself, you're going to probably have to do it on the weekend. That's honestly the best time to communicate with them because you don't have to report to your job the next day. But you need to be mindful of the time difference and just being respectful to, you know, their sleep pattern, and then also, you know, trying your best to catch them in a good window that works best for you as well. This tip right here, if you don't hear nothing else, if nothing else really resonated with you, this is the tip that you need for your business. Like this tip, you need to do this. You have got to order samples. You have got to order samples. If you don't order samples, don't even try to be in business. Don't even try to open up your own shop. You might as well just try to hang it up because you ain't really about that life. Like I think it is crucial to order a sample of what you actually are getting. Because I had one vendor, like, she tried to order me a sample of something that I didn't even want. She was just trying to send me some random pens and some random stationery. And I was like, no, I want what I'm going to get. I'm not going to sell my customer something that's not legit. And so you really and truly need to order samples. If you're ordering stationery, hey, I want a sample of exactly what I'm going to get. I need to feel the pen. I need to smell the pen. Okay, the pen need to smell good. You know, these pens, they've been in boxes and they've been through a mighty long way across the water. So you need to smell the pen. You need to be writing with this pen every single day. You need to get a feel of the pen. You need to get, if you ordering stationery like notepads and stuff, you need to know how do the pages feel. Is this something that I would use? You really and truly need to get a good feel of whatever you are trying to sell to other people. You don't want to sell people stuff and it's crusty, it's dusty, it's musty, it's falling apart, and it look cheap. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to do that to your customers. If you order a huge supply of stuff and you have not ordered a sample and you don't know how it's going to come and how it's going to look and the material of it, you setting yourself up for failure. You are setting yourself up for failure because the pictures that they post may not exactly be the same thing that you are actually getting. So you have got to order samples. I was watching this video of this girl who had ordered something overseas for her business, and when she actually got her huge package, she was so disappointed because the picture did not match what actually she got. And instead of ordering a sample and really doing it the smart way and really saving yourself time, energy, and money, she ordered all this stuff for her company and she finally got the merchandise and she didn't like it at all. Like, I could feel the cheapness through the camera. I know she was upset, and she said, like, I was up, like, I don't like it because it looked so cheaply made, and it just didn't bring good quality, and it didn't give off what she was really trying to portray to her customers. And so she talked about how she had to discount the rate because what she ordered, it was just so cheap. So do not make that mistake, y'all. Like, I know it may take longer in the process. I know that you may want to go ahead and order right now. I know that you may be in a rush, or you just may be excited. But save yourself the coins, save yourself the time, the energy, and do your customers a favor by actually trying out the product before you try to sell it. Order a sample, please. If you don't do nothing else, please order a sample. Next thing I want to tell you is do not be afraid to negotiate at all. You really and truly, you need to know what you want, and you need to know kind of in the back of your head how much you're willing to spend on it. So when you're going back and forth with vendors, whether it be stateside or whether it be overseas, you have got to be able to negotiate. Not just take whatever answer they give you as the truth. Really and truly be open to negotiating. They're open to negotiating on basically anything. If you want to lower the price, or you feel like this is really out of my budget, let them know. If you don't want to pay for 1,000 pens and you want to just order like maybe 200, let them know. You want customization and you don't want to pay extra, or you don't feel like it's worth the extra $500 for customization, let them know. Like, ask for lower prices, and don't be afraid to have a voice in the situation. If you don't have a voice and you don't know what you want, people are just going to give you what they have. You know what I mean? So you really and truly got to know what you want, speak on it, be clear about it, but then also know, this is what it is, and if you go past this point, then you're not the right vendor for me. So a lot of them say, I only offer 1,000 pieces. But when I actually speak to the vendor and I say, hey, I don't want 1,000 pieces, I don't need 1,000 pieces, I want this amount of pieces, then they'll be able to give it to me. And all of them have said, yes, I can do that for you, just let me know, what you need and everything like that. So do not be afraid to negotiate. Do not be afraid. Trust me, I'm telling you, in the long run, it will definitely pay off. The next thing I want to tell you is use photos when you are trying to describe what you want, because it just makes it so much clearer. It makes it so cutthroat about what you want, instead of people having to try to guess what you're saying. So when you're using vendors overseas, there's going to be a language barrier, right? It's just the matter of it. It's going to be a language barrier on their part, and it may be a language barrier on your part as well. So the easiest way to kind of cut through all the nonsense is to use photos. If I tell you this is what I want, there's no confusion in it, because this is what I want. If I tell you I want this color, there ain't no confusion, because I'm telling you I want this color. So do not sit here and try to communicate every single thing through word or through text, because it's going to be confusing, because they use a translator. So when they're speaking to you, they automatically put it in a translator and they interpret it that way. So a lot of times, say for instance, you say like, I want rose gold notepads. When they translate it, it may not translate to rose gold. They may not have a word for rose gold, like the color, in their language. So instead of trying to, communicate that way, and instead of getting confused and they think you just mean gold, or they think they may think you want just pink or something like that, just show them a picture of what you want, so that it can cut down on all the time and y'all can just really produce what you want. This also works for stateside as well. So when you're working with people stateside, it's good to just show them a picture. Like, this is the pens that I want. This is the stationery that I want. This is exactly what I want. And so I'm telling you, it will literally cut down on so much confusion if you just use photos instead of always trying to use word of mouth, especially with overseas vendors. The next tip I want to tell you is do your research. When you are communicating with people, whether it's stateside or overseas, you need to be Googling these people. Some of them, especially overseas, they may have lawsuits against them. They may be having like different court cases. They may have been in the news. Listen, I be Googling everything. Using my phone, I be like, let me Google these people. Let me see who they is. I know who their mama is. I know who the company owner is. I know when he started. I know how long he been in business. Oh, are you getting Googled? Oh yeah, you getting Googled. It's the World Wide Web. I'm just using my, my resources. But you need to be Googling these people. Don't just be out here just communicating with people and taking everybody, offer that they give you. Like, no, I need to know, are you legit? Are you legit? Like, are you good people? Do you have a good reputation? Because a lot of that stuff matters. So do not be afraid to do research on these vendors, whether it's even stateside too. Make sure you look at their company, look at, you know, how they produce, look at the reviews, look at, you know, what people are saying about them, and make sure that they align with your values. The last thing I'm gonna tell you when you're trying to start your business is you have got to know what you want. You really and truly got to know what you want. And if you don't know what you want, before you start talking to people, find out the vision first. Find out what God has told you to do. Find out what you are called to create, and then you start talking to vendors. But if you try to talk to vendors and you don't even know what you want, it can be frustrating. It can be a little bit of annoying, and I can see how they can get just like annoyed with you. So for instance, say if you're talking to somebody and you say, okay, what type of pen do you want? And they're like, you know, I don't know, I think I want a push pen, I think I want a black pen, I think I want a red pen, I don't really care the color. And then you say, okay, well, do you want quotes on the pen? Do you want just a regular black chic pen? Do you want a gold and silver pen? What type of pen color do you want? And then they're like, oh no, I don't know, maybe like gold or maybe silver if you have that. And then you say, do you want the fine point pen? Do you want maybe like the thicker pen, the 1.0 pen? What type of pen size do you want? And they say, you know, maybe 5, maybe 2, I don't really care. See how very unclear that is? You got to know what you want. You got to know a vision of what you want to produce. If you give it to these vendors, they're going to give you what they have. They're not going to give you what you want. If you say, I want a blue pen, a black pen, or maybe a red pen, they're going to give you what's convenient for them. If you say you want maybe a small lead, or you want like a thicker lead for a pencil, they're going to give you a small lead just because you don't know what you want. So in anything that you do, not just business, but more importantly, when you business-wise, you got to ask for what you want, and you got to know what you want. Don't go in there like, oh, I don't know, this, maybe that, maybe this, maybe that. Like, no, know what you want. I want a pen that is maybe gold and rose gold. Okay, those are my 2 colors that I want, and I want a quote on each pen. After that, I want the ink to be black. See how simple that was? I literally just came up with that. But that's literally how, that's the mindset you have to have. Like, know what you want, because if you don't, they're just gonna give you what they have, and this may not be the best quality stuff. Nobody gonna do your business like how you do your business. Nobody is gonna treat your business like how you treat your business. Your business is like your baby. Literally, you know how you protect your baby? You know how you protect whoever come for your children, if you have children, if you don't have children, your sister, your cousin, your mother, your auntie, your grandma. Same type of protection that you need over your business. Like, protect the vision. Take it serious. When you out here with these vendors, tell them what you want and be like, stand up for yourself. Don't be sitting here, no. This is what I want. If you can't offer it for me, okay, I can move on to another vendor. And that's the type of like moves that you have to have. Now, there are some things where you may not know everything. So say if you're open to maybe spiral bound, or you're more open to maybe like a binder where it's 3-hole punched. You can compromise on small stuff like that. You have to have some type of idea what you're called to do, and I'm telling you, it'll make the process so much easier. Hopefully this video helped you. Hopefully you can see different tricks and tips when you're dealing with vendors overseas and when you're dealing with vendors stateside. They both have their pros and cons. The only difference is you really have to decide which one works best for you. If you need encouragement, or you know somebody else who may need encouragement, please write into my foundation, www.letusforlife.net, where I encourage people through writing handwritten letters of encouragement. I love you, but most importantly though, God loves you. I will see y'all on my next video.